Okay. Welcome everyone and Shabbat Shalom. Before we start our services, I want to say hello to two very important people who are going to help with the candle lighting, and that's Isabella and Olivia. Can you guys wave? And we'll put Isabella and Olivia on the screen just for a moment and see if we can say hello to them.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, ladies. And where are you broadcasting from? What neighborhood in Phoenix?
Peoria.
Oh, wow. And so welcome to you and Shabbat Shalom. Give me a Shabbat Shalom one more time.
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, that's very nice. And we'll be back with the ladies in just a moment for the candle lighting. But first, it's my pleasure to introduce Faye Henning-Bryan, our first vice president, who will bring greetings and give announcements. Faye?
Thank you, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And I'm pitch hitting again tonight for Marvin Barris, our president, who, as you may know, is finally home from the hospital and recovering, and we extend our best wishes and our prayers for healing to Marvin and Jane, who's there as his caregiver. Our religious school registration for fall is underway, and we've had a great response from the returning families, and you can check out our website for more information. The Basic Hebrew Prayers course, this is a new adult education class that is starting. It will be for 6 weeks, starting this Thursday at 1 o'clock in the afternoons. There's been a very positive response. A lot of people have signed up for it, but there's still room for more. And you can call the office Tuesday and register, and you'll be all set for Thursday. And that's being taught by the Rabbi, the Cantor, and Andre, our program director. And Torah study is now every Wednesday at 11 o'clock a.m., not just once a month. It's on Zoom, and there's still room for more. Anybody who wants to join can do so anytime. The next book club meeting will be July 15th, and you can contact Pam Katz for more information. Also a reminder to please continue taking your non-perishable groceries to Valley View Food Bank. We're continuing that at least through the summer. And if you are not able to take the groceries yourself, if you call the office, we will find a volunteer to come and pick them up from your home. Peyton Anthony is going to be called to the Torah tomorrow morning to become a bat mitzvah. And we wanted to tell you about something very special that she did as a mitzvah project. Was really quite something amazing. She's a young artist, and she wanted to share her art. So she created single pieces of art that she has donated to Spencer's Place. Now, some of you may know about Spencer's Place, you may not, but it is a coffee shop on Waddell in the Northwest Valley. And it is run and operated by individuals with developmental and intellectual disabilities. And they will have those items for sale. So if you have a yen for a good cup of coffee and a pastry, stop by Spencer's Place, check out Peyton's artwork, and you might want to buy a piece to support a great cause. Rabbi Kaplan wanted me to remind you that he is available to chat with you by phone if you just want to chat with him, or he can meet with you if you want. You guys can pick a time and location. We all know that he's very friendly, and he says to me in a note that he doesn't bite. So feel free to contact the rabbi. I think that's all the announcements for this week. I hope your Shabbat will be a day of rest, peace, and joy. And I wish you Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and Shabbat Shalom. We begin our services with the Shalom Aleichem on page 142, and then follow that with the Hadlakat Neirot.
Shalom Aleichem. Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedekhem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Okay, ladies, Isabella and Olivia, are you ready? We're going to turn to page 120 for the Hadlakat Nerot.
Okay. Yeah. He got this big. He got this.
Oh no. Oh, why is it not lighting? I'm sorry.
Don't need anything.
There we go.
Bear with us.
There we go.
Oh no. That is it.
What is with this
Sorry,
candle?
guys, I apologize.
Candle's not lighting.
Okay, go ahead now.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat. Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
The Gomez family had to use a lighter to light the candles, maybe more than once. But on the reading that we're going to read now, that Brenda Buckner's going to read on page 137, it was enough to hear the voice of God, and the voice of Adonai by itself could kindle flames of fire. Page 137, Brenda. Brenda?
Brenda, you're unmuted. Oh, she's reading. We just can't hear her.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
she's reading. We just can't. There's no audio. I don't know
Okay.
what's happening. So
I'll take it back and I'll get it back here for
we
next
saw
week.
you reading, Brenda. We just couldn't hear you. I saw you
Brenda,
reading.
we'll reassign it to you for next week as well, if you like. The voice of Adonai kindles flames of fire. The voice of Adonai convulses the wilderness. Adonai convulses the wilderness of Kadesh. The voice of Adonai causes hinds to calf and strips forests bare, which in God's temple all say, glory. Adonai sat enthroned at the flood. Adonai sits enthroned, sovereign forever. May Adonai grant strength to God's people. May Adonai bestow on God's people well-being. And let us say, Amen. As we continue with the Lecha Dodi on the following page, page 138, Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. 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 She'amod v'zachor b'dibur echad, ishmi'anu el ha'miyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem uteferet v'litpilah. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Oy v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzala, tov emunei am segulo, v'yichala. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Wow. Shabbat Shalom, Cantor.
And to you, Rabbi.
You have so much enthusiasm. It's wonderful to hear.
Well, where else would I want to be? This is what I love.
I know. And we can feel that, we can hear it, and we can feel it. We continue, now we move from the Kabbalat Shabbat service, which we just completed, into the evening service, which technically is a completely different thing. And of course, it begins with the Baruch, the call for worship, and then moves into the Shema. We're going to be talking about some of these prayers that Andre and Baruch and myself are team teaching. And this is really our first time team teaching in a three-way. Baruch promised to let me sing some of the stuff.
I don't remember that.
Oh no, he's reneging. And so we continue with the call for worship, the beginning of the evening service, page 146, and we segue into the declaration of the faith, the Shema on 152.
Baruch hu et Adonai, Am Baruch, Baruch Adonai, Am Baruch, Le'olam va'ed, Am Baruch, Le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shem Kavod Malachuto Le'olam Moed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
We now turn to page 154, and we have the honor of having Shaylin Anthony, who was bat mitzvahed about 2.5 years ago. I wasn't the rabbi here at the time, unfortunately. But she's back, and she's going to lead us in the Hebrew of the Vahafta 154. And then her sister Peyton, whose bat mitzvah weekend it is. And we wish you a tremendous mazel tov, Peyton. And I'll see you here in the sanctuary tomorrow, bright and early. And Peyton's going to do the same prayer in English, also page 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושנתם לבך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושבתך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטפות בעיניך. וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
You shall love God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Speak of them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
We continue now with the Micha Mocha, page 158.
Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Ya la la ya la 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 la. Mi kamo raba ali madama. Mi kamo rab nehida bakodesh. No ratahila o sefer. No ratahila o sefer. מלכותך רבה לך, וכהים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. Amor Rabba Alimadonna, Amora de Kodesh, no Ratahila, O Sefer, no Ratahila, O Sefer, Yalla la 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 la, Yalla la la yalla la la, Yalla la 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 yalla la la la, Yalla la la yalla la la la. ונאמר כי בדרנו את יעקב וגלומי החזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
And now we turn to page 159 for Sing the Song, as Beth Patrick will read this for us.
Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content. Her soldiers home, to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
Return now to Ufrot Salenu, page 160. Thank you very much, Beth.
Ufrot Salenu Sukkot, Sukkot, Shalom Mecha, Yalalala, 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 Yalalala.
We come now to the Mishaberach, and the last 4 or 5 weeks I've been prefacing it with a liturgical piece that our own Andre Ivory's written. And so I just wanted to acknowledge his liturgical contribution here as I read it once more. The past few months have seen our prayers become heavier as there is so much turned upside down in our world. The opportunity arises that we turn our prayer to action. Loving kindness is our movement from prayer to the heavens, to action here on earth. We pray the loving kindness be the medicine that cures those suffering the effects of COVID-19, or those that choose bitterness and racism over understanding our common humanity. May loving kindness and healing come to everyone who needs it in our lives. And you can all type in the names of everyone that you would like us to think about as we're about to do the Mishaberach. I'd like to put in a special Mishaberach for our president, Marvin Barris, who's recovering at home. And we all hope that he regains full strength in the immediate future. I'd also like to put in a word for Norman Winderlich. His wife Ellen asked me to do that, and I was able to meet them in person at Dave and Pam Katz's house in Buckeye right before the coronavirus. And you can see on the messages that everyone's putting in all of the people that we want to wish a full healing for of all sorts as we join in the Mishaberach, which you can find on page 371.
May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Visheperach imotenu, korach avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Amen. And you can keep typing in more Mishaberachs as well for the next few minutes. As you see, we've made a few liturgical changes this Friday night. We added a psalm. And at this point, we're also going to add a new prayer, Grant Us Peace, which will be, you can find on page 179. And we're going to follow that with the moment of silence, and then Oseh Shalom on page 180. So I'd like to ask Steve Siegel to lead us on Grant Us Peace, the top of page 179.
Peace, your most precious gift. It's not on. O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace.
Amen.
Oseh Shalom Bimromo, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael, V'maru, V'maru, Amen. Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I've been following the Torah study of every week and then using some of the discussion for my sermons. And this week, we're not talking about the children of Israel in the desert or about Moses and Aaron and their difficulties, but something maybe in some ways more practical, in other ways more ritualistic, and that is, as you see right in front of you, my tzitzit. And I've got the talit. You can see it's not a big one, but it's a small. It's big enough to see. And of course, on the ends are the tzitzit themselves. And this, where does this whole custom come from? From this week's Parsha, from Shlach Lecha, which is the book of Numbers, called in Hebrew Bamidbar, chapter 15, and I'll read you the relevant section. It's at the very end of the Parsha, very end, the last 4 or 5 sentences. God spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, you shall make tzitzit," which we could translate as tassels, "for yourselves on the corner of your garments throughout your generations. You shall place a thread of turquoise in the tzitzit at each corner. These will be your tzitzit. When you see them, you will remember all the commandments of God to perform them, and you will not follow after the spies of the evil inclination, your hearts and your eyes, which can lead you astray, so that you will remember and perform all of the divine commandments, and you will be in eternal covenant with Adonai, your God. I am God, I am Adonai, your God, who took you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai, your God. And thus ends the entire portion of Shlach Lecha. Now, there's another mention of the tzitzit later in the Torah in the book of Deuteronomy. And Deuteronomy is it's the fifth book. It was written later. It's kind of a summary of the first four, perhaps. It says there very briefly, there's one sentence about it in Deuteronomy chapter 22, which is going to come up in, 7 or 8 weeks from now. It says, you shall make tassels on the 4 corners of your garment with which you cover yourself. Okay, but the main part of everything about tzitzit is right here. So the question is, what is the meaning of these tzitzit? And so if you're an Orthodox Jew, or more precisely, an Orthodox Jewish male, you are commanded to wear tzitzit every day. And it's primarily a commandment during the daytime, not in the evening, not after dark. And it's only a commandment if you are wearing a rectangular garment with 4 corners. So I went into the shirt store a while back before coronavirus, and I said, I want a shirt with 4 corners. And they looked at me like, you're nuts. We don't make shirts with 4 corners. It's got 2 corners up there, and it's got a bunch of corners down there, but it doesn't have 4 corners, and it's not a rectangular object. So I said, but it won't count for tzitzit. So they said, well, why don't you just get a talit and wear that? Well, they didn't say that, but, if they knew about Judaism, they would have said that. And so that's what we do. Now, we don't wear them every day, all day. We wear it as a prayer shawl, in English they call it. So a prayer shawl, it's not really a direct translation. But what is a prayer shawl? You wear a shawl during prayer. And so it's especially designed for such purposes. Now, in one of the earliest midrashim were rabbinic stories that were written or collected, things the sages said. Maybe this is from the 2nd, 3rd, 4th century CE, so 1800 years ago, roughly. It says the commandment of tzitzit is as important as all the other commandments together. And, it doesn't really tell you why, but I think the reason is obvious, because these strings are meant to represent the 613 commandments. So when you wear this and when you look upon it, you are intended to think about all of the commandments. And so therefore it's equivalent to all of the commandments, because when you look at it, you think about all of the commandments. And now you may have noticed in what I read, it talks about this purple string or blue string, and you don't see it here. I didn't buy this at our gift shop, so don't blame a sisterhood. But it doesn't have the blue string, and that is because the techelet, which was made from some sort of a snail, some sort of snail that was available off of the coast of Israel a long, long time ago. And then at some point, the rabbinic tradition was that we didn't know which snail it was anymore, or the snail wasn't around very much. And so the rabbi said, well, what do we do? So they said, well, you just keep making the talit without the techelet string, without the string of purple or blue, which would be, any one of these strings, let's say, right here. And so partly to compensate, they decided to put onto the four-cornered garment little stripes, blue or black or purple, to symbolize the techelet. And of course, when in modern times, in the 1890s, when the early Zionists were designing a flag for what they then hoped would become the future Jewish state, the designer sat down, and it didn't take long to figure out, well, what are you going to base the new flag on? Well, the talit. And so if it has certain comparisons, that would become pretty obvious. But there's a passage in the Talmud itself that suggests that wearing tzitzit could remind you not just of the 613 commandments, but of the declaration of faith, which also, in a certain sense, represents all of Judaism. And so it says, look at it and remember. And the Talmud, that's a quote from the Torah. And the Talmud asks, what does that mean? Look at it and remember. And then you're supposed to look at this mitzvah, the mitzvah of tzitzit, and recall another mitzvah which is connected to it. Which one? And the Talmud says, reciting the Shema. And you're supposed to recite the Shema every morning and every night. And it's really quite easy to do. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. And if you want to, you can add the second part, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. But even just the first part. So Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad, 6 words in the morning and 6 words in the evening. And if you think you're about to die, then what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to recite the Shema. And when I got hit by the Volvo SUV in Alabama, who ran through 2 red lights and smashed into me, this was my opportunity to say the Shema, but it happened so fast, it was over before I could even think about what am I supposed to do. So sometimes you have the opportunity and sometimes you don't. There's a mystical aspect to this as well, that in one of the sources in the Talmud, it talks about Shimon Bar Yochai, who was an early mystic who hid from the Romans in a cave with his son for many years. And in the cave, he meditated on the meaning of God's name, and he reputedly came face to face with God. And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is quoted in the Talmud as saying, whoever is careful about observing this mitzvah of the tzitzit merits greeting the face of the Shekhinah. And if you took the Kabbalah course with me, you know that the Shekhinah is the feminine aspect of God. It's the emanation of God which is closest to human beings. And so if you do the mitzvah properly, and with not only do the mitzvah, but also understand the mystical implications of the mitzvah, it can help you to come face to face with God. But on a more prosaic level, let's say that we're not trying to come face to face with God. We're just trying to live reasonably good lives and reasonably ethical lives. The tzitzit are, in very practical terms, a way to try to steer us toward the performance of good deeds and the avoidance of wrongdoing. And just looking at the tzitzit reminds us of our obligations as human beings, as Jews, as perhaps spouses, parents of children, on this, especially on this Father's Day weekend, the obligations that we have to others. And so there's many reasons for the tzitzit. I've just gone through a couple of them, but I think it's a wonderful mitzvah, and it's an easy mitzvah. If you don't have a talit and you want to get one, contact our gift shop, and Judy and others there will try to help find you one that you like. If you want to know about the halachic requirements of a talit, you can always give me a call, and I love to talk about this stuff. And so with that, I wish you a Shabbat Shalom. We're going to follow this with the Tatanenu, which is the Cantor's anthem for the week. Jerusalem is Mine by Kenny Karen, in English, in honor of Father's Day. And then we're going to go into a Torah service, and I'm going to have the Aliyah is all the fathers in the congregation, fathers, grandfathers, but fathers. And so, Cantor, Tatatenu.
Yeah, well, actually, it's Yiddish. It's Tatenu. Kenny Karen, who wrote Jerusalem is Mine, also wrote this, and I dedicate this to celebrate all the fathers out there, and because I can, I dedicate it to the memory of my father's father, Yaakov Koritiansky. Yesterday keeps passing through my memory, floating through a honey-colored sky, savoring the sweetness I remember, flavored by a soothing lullaby. And when I looked for strength, I found it in your smile, holding up the world for one believing child. Remember, sit with me, hold my hand, Tatanenu. Talk me, man to man, Tatanenu. Magical kingdom was there in your eyes, the flutter of wings in angel's disguise. I asked you, who am I? What are we? Tatanenu. Will I learn? Will I see? Tatanenu. The questions of ages you answered as one. Love was all you believed, my son. The years go by as time has quickly flown. A father now with children of my own, and memories fade into an autumn day, dreams ago far away. So come and rest a while in your chair, Tatanenu. When you call, I'll be there, Tatanenu. The head of the family, the heart, the home. God grant you time to love, time to share, time to spend with those who care, time to be
thought in you to me.
Happy Father's Day to everyone. We continue now with the Torah service, and I'd like to call up for the Aliyah. There's going to be one Aliyah tonight. Next week, we'll have more than one Aliyah. I'd like to call up all the fathers. So unmute yourselves and come on up to the Bima for the Torah blessings.
Yes.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorah. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Voed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Bano Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torah. Baruch Atah Adonai Torah.
Amen. Vayomer Adonai Moshe lemor, daber el bnei Yisrael v'amarta lechem v'asu lechem tzitzit al kaveh v'hem l'doratam v'natnu al tzitzit al kanaf v'til techelet v'haya lachem l'tzitzit uritem otos kartem et kol mitzvot Adonai v'zitem otam V'lo tatu acharei levavchem v'acharei nechem asher atem tonim achareichem leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim lelechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem eretz Mitzrayim leichot lachem Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
Now the blessing after the reading.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah v'chayei olam nota b'tzeinu. Baruch Atah Adonai notein haTorah.
Amen. And thank you, Andre, for that. And if you followed the Hebrew reading, you saw that he read the section toward the end of the Parsha about the tzitzit. So it matched the sermon very nicely. And thank you to all the fathers who blessed the Torah before and after. As we move now to the Mourner's Kaddish on page 598. We're going to put up on the screen the Kaddish list. We're also going to ask if you have other names or if you'd like to type in the name of a loved one, even if it's on our list, please start to do that at this time. As we prepare for the Mourner's Kaddish, page 598, as we remember all of those who are near and dear to us and are no longer among us. And we pray that they are with God and their souls are one. We join together on page 598 for the Mourner's Kaddish. We join together. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabba v'yalma dibra krute v'yamlich malchute b'chayechon b'yomechon b'chaye d'kol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'bizman koriv v'yamru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach li'alam u'lamei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'tpo'ar v'troman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalel v'yitalal shmei d'kutsha b'richu leila min kol berchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata dam yiram b'alma v'yamru. Amen. Yehei shlomo Rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yamru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yamru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and all humanity, to which we say, Amen. And let us say, Amen. We now turn to the Kiddush and the Hamotzi. And I was rummaging in the refrigerator just a few minutes ago, and I see that we're out. Well, we're not out, but we finished, I managed to finish a whole bottle of Magen David last week. And somebody put a new bottle in there, but I didn't want to open it. And so I was digging around for half-finished bottles. And I came across a Malbec, and I know it's red. Now, traditionally, we try to use wine from Israel because we want, it's a way to connect to Israel, and it's kind of a nice thing to do as part of Shabbat. But this is not from Israel. It is from none other than the state of Arizona. And so I thought that it would be a very, very appropriate thing to do the Kiddush tonight over Arizona Malbec. And so with that, I'm ready. I also wanted to thank the Anthony family for this delicious challah. And so I'm ready on both guns.
I'm going to give people my address, so they can bring me the challah. But first, the Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, orei pari hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uv'ratzon nechilanu, zikaron l'maaseh b'reishit, kihu yom tehila lemikra kodesh. Zeher Litzion Mitzrayim, Ibanu Bacharta, Otanu Kidashta, Mikomim, Mishabat Kodshecha, V'ahava Uvratzon, Yinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mikadesh, Ashkabat. Amen. L'chaim, Arizona.
L'chaim. It's good. It's good.
Foiled again, no raisins here. All right. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lecha min haaretz. Amen.
Amen. And thanks to the Anthony family and Mazel Tov on the bat mitzvah of their daughter Peyton. And we'll see you all tomorrow as well for that. And so looking forward to nice events and happy events, and hopefully more happy events. We now conclude our service with the benediction and then the Tfilat HaDerech. And then, as is customary, we will leave the mic open so that people can schmooze for pretty much as long as you like.
Ken yehi ratzon.
May Adonai bless you and keep you.
Adonai, panav elecha v'chuneka.
Ken yehi ratzon.
May God's light shine upon you and be gracious to you.
Yisod Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
Ken yehi ratzon.
May each of us feel God's presence within us, not just on Shabbat, but throughout the week. And may we find peace, happiness, and much love. And let us say,
Amen.
Amen.
May we be blessed as we go on our way. May we be guided in peace. May we be blessed with health and joy. May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. May we be sheltered by the wings of peace. May we be kept in safety and in love. May grace and compassion find their way to every soul. May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom, Cantor. Fantastic job in leading us in services this evening. Thank you to all of our participants, the Gomez family for doing the candle lighting, to Peyton and Shaylin for leading us in the Ve'ahavta, to Brenda. We'll get the audio correct. We'll help you out, get the audio corrected for you. And Beth Patrick and helping us lead along with Steve Siegel. And to all the fathers out there, have a happy Father's Day. It is, may your day be full of rest and full of gifts and the gift of your family. And for all of us, who would long for our fathers to be here, or our fathers are of blessed memory, may we embody the values that they always taught us on Father's Day. May we go out and do something that would make them so proud, for us to be their children. We are happy that there were a number of people who joined us via Facebook Live this evening. We invite everyone to join us either by Zoom or by Facebook Live next Friday. Again, if you have a friend, don't forget, tell them, join us by Facebook Live to view the services. So therefore, maybe they don't have to go through the trouble of finding the link. We are going to leave the stream open for a while. We're going to unmute everyone. So you can say hello to each other. But from my heart, I want to say a Shabbat Shalom to everyone. Have a great weekend. Happy Father's Day.
Join me tomorrow.
Oh, yes. Hold on one second. So there will be Havdalah tomorrow. I will not be leading it. You guys haven't seen my ugly mug enough lately. The Cantor will be leading Havdalah tomorrow night with his wonderful voice and his wonderful enthusiasm for leading Havdalah. Hopefully, Cantor, you'll do a nigun at the beginning, so therefore we can get the energy going and get people pounding on the table. They will be, Cantor and Rabbi will be leading Havdalah tomorrow night. I've got another engagement to be at tomorrow night. And Mazel Tov again to the Anthony family. I look forward to seeing them in the morning at 11 a.m. for Peyton's bat mitzvah. With that, Cantor, I hope I did a good job, and I will see everyone later. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom. Good night. Good night, everyone.
Bye, Sharon.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay.
Good.
Bye.
Good night.
Bella.
Take care. Bye.
You, Bonnie. Haven't seen you for a while.
Tomorrow.
Bob and Steve, my dog keeps.
Hi, Harvey. Harvey.
Good night.
Hey,
Hi,
Harvey,
Bernie.
got your mail.
You got my mail, okay.
That's better,
Give me a
yes.
call when you get a chance.
Yeah, I got your message.
Thank
I'll give
you.
you a call
Good.
probably
Thanks.
tomorrow.
Pretty sure
Yeah.
they don't work the way you think they did.
Okay. Good night, all.
Good night.
Marcia. Shabbat
Give our
shalom.
best to David.
Shalom. Shabbat
Everybody, I'm going to eat dinner.
Enjoy.